Thank you so much for coming out today. It's great to be here. It's great to be together. I love church. I love coming together, and want to welcome you. If you're watching online as well, thank you so much for joining this service, and even hopefully you've joined the whole series. We are finishing up the series, and I got to tell you, I just appreciate this so much. This whole series called Peace of Mind. We have really spent the last several weeks talking about mental and emotional illness. And I appreciate Shaheen even taking on this series, and I'm so glad that he chose to do this, because I think a lot of Christians, a lot of churches want to pass over this stuff, and let's just pretend it's not there. Let's just pray and everything will be better. But yet these are real issues. These are things that in our lives that we struggle with, and many of us, probably all of us at one time or another, struggle with one of these things of anxiety, discontentment, even depression. And these things are serious. These things affect our lives. These things can rob us from the life that God intended us to live. And I'm so glad that we took this on. I'm so glad that we're doing this. As a matter of fact, I hope that this is a series that you will refer to from time to time. I hope it's a series that you will refer to your friends, because I think it's so helpful. It's not just self-help stuff. It's real scientific stuff that can help us overcome these problems, these issues we have in our life. But it's also what God says, and God has the answer, and God is truth. And this can bring victory in our lives. Now we're going to end this today with something that I believe, and as a matter of fact, not just me, but doctors believe that this could even be a cause of the other three. That because of what we're going to talk about today, if we don't get a handle on this, and if we don't, I guess, recover and heal from this, it will lead to the other things in our life. And this particular one, I think that probably all of us have been in touch with. Now, the legal statistic is 85% of us have, but I was just told by somebody who's in the field that that's just reported cases, 85%. It's probably all of us. And so this is something that we all probably struggle with, and it can really rob our lives. As a matter of fact, as we talk about it, you're going to discover that it's probably something that you have suffered from, that has kept you from relationships. It has kept you from doing the job you want to do. It's kept you from meeting the people that you want to meet. And it's held you back in your life. And it's really it stole life from you. This thing some of you might not think is a big deal when we read it right away, but it is very powerful. It is low self-esteem. And some of you might not even think that this is an actual mental or emotional illness, but it is. Some of us might think, oh, well, just get over it. But it's not that easy. And this whole idea of low self-esteem is our own view of ourselves. It's not what others see, it's what we see in ourselves. When we view ourselves as not as good as other people. We view ourselves as not as valuable as other people. We view it like there's other people and then there's me. It is our own view of ourselves that is less than it really is, that we think we're not lovable. We think that, we're not talented. We have no value. And it's those feelings that we have for ourselves. And I'll tell you, I'm so glad that I'm able to talk about this topic, because I have definitely suffered from this, like most of us have, but there are different degrees. But especially in my teenage years, I really, really suffered from this. And it can be so devastating. As a matter of fact, if you have really suffered from it, you will identify, exactly what I'm talking about. And here's the whole point that I'm so glad I get to talk about it, and that is because of this, that I don't suffer from those things like that anymore, that there is healing, that we can overcome it, that we can change where we are. If you're here today and you feel like, hey, I cannot ever see myself as being as valuable as other people? Yes, you can, because it's true, you are. But I know what you're going through. I do. And I know a lot of us feel like I'm here, but I'm not special. Oh, other people are special. I'm not special. I know that it was in my life, it was to a point, and probably you've experienced this too, to a point in my life where I felt so less than other people, I could not even look people in the eye. I couldn't look straight at somebody because they're here and I'm here. Have you felt like that? Have you felt like, I don't have anything to offer? I don't have any talents, no abilities, no skills. Have you ever felt like, wow, they look really good, I don't? And we come to these conclusions in our life that we aren't as valuable or as precious as other people, and it robs us from life. We don't meet the people we want to meet. We don't do the things we want to do because we don't think we're worthy of it. And this comes from, generally speaking, mostly because you and I allow others to define us. We allow other people to define our value. And it's kind of a comparison trap that we look at other people and we judge ourselves to what we see in them and what we see in ourselves. And you know what it's like. Wow, they're better looking than I am. Wow, I am shorter than most people. We look at other people and we come to a conclusion about ourselves. Wow, they're really good at that, and I'm not. Wow, they have attention, and I don't. Wow, they're funny, and I'm not. And we allow other people we get our own value as this comparison to what other people, and then there's what people say. And especially in childhood, this can be so detrimental. We take what other people say as truth, and it might have been a joke, they might have just been saying something, we take it as truth, and we find our own value according to what other people say or how they compare themselves to us. And we just end up feeling like I'm not even there. I'm not even competing. I know that if you were in my family growing up, I have an older brother and a younger brother, and then a way, way, way younger brother. But between my older brother and my younger brother, I was in the middle. And my parents, as an older son, they put a lot of energy on the older one. Oh, if you're a firstborn, God bless you. The rest of us don't like you. The firstborn, everything's poured in, and then the last one's the baby of the family. The middle child's just there. My son Mikey, he's a middle child, and he says it this way. He says, "What middle child?" Kind of realizing this whole thing, and we measure ourselves for what's said, how we're treated, all those things. It was very easy if you're a middle child, or if there was a sibling in your family that was just good at everything and they were smart, or they were great at sports and you weren't. It's very easy to get our value compared to them. Oh, they're good at that. Oh, they're, I'm not. And we get our own value because I'm not good at that. We internally interpret that to say, I'm just not good, or I'm not valuable. And then in turn it reacts to how we carry ourselves. And then it just builds on that because we don't think we're good at it, then we don't act like we're good at it, we don't, and then we even get worse at it. It just compounds till we get the feeling that I just am not worth as much. And I don't know if you've experienced it as much as I have, but I know that there was a time in my life that I felt, compared to other people that were so successful and people that got all the attention, the class clown. And I wasn't any of that I just didn't have any value. Matter of fact, so much so that I felt like, wow, everybody loves that person. I'm just not lovable. Have you felt that? Maybe you've never verbalized it, but have you ever felt like, hey, I'm just not lovable? Have you ever felt like, I just don't deserve anything. I just kind of get the hand-me-downs, the leftovers. I'm not special is how we do. And it all comes to viewing. We get our own value from other people and what we see in other people and what they say. And here's the thing is so dangerous here. So dangerous is those things might not even be true. It's just what our conclusion is about these things come that we look at other people that, oh, they got great hair, they're skinny, they're tall, they're athletic. I'm not, therefore I'm nothing. And it's just not true. How about just, especially as we grow up, how culture defines us? How we look at, we allow others to define us. We allow culture to define us. If culture says, this is awesome, and I'm not that, then we interpret that as, then I'm not valuable, I'm not worth it, I can't make it, I'm not one, I am not important, as culture is. And culture defines these things. I'll tell you what, this whole idea of beauty, just beauty, beautiful women and how they look, and culture defines that, and that even changes over time. It doesn't always look the same, but especially as young women, and especially as you're growing up, and if you're a young woman, it's so hard to compete with the beauty that we see all over Hollywood and all that. But if we just knew the truth, that just because they look that beautiful, guess what? They're really no different than we are. Look at Heidi Klum. This is the Heidi Klum we see. And if you compare yourself to that, you're going to lose. Okay, you're going to lose. You're going to be less than. You're going to have a low self-esteem. But if you knew the real Heidi Klum, guess what? We're no different. We're kind of all, it's not like I'm not good looking. We're all average looking. Even what we see in Hollywood is just average looking people with a $10,000 makeup job. If you had a $10,000 makeup job, you would look like Hollywood yourself. Look at, we can be made to look plastic and what we value. Culture says that's beautiful, but this is reality. Of course, she's trying to scare you. Culture defines. We allow culture to define us. Look at, what? We need to come down to reality and realize this. Just because culture shows us something, and this could be either with money or things or success or sports or talents or whatever it might be, guess what? You and I aren't really that different. We aren't. And we allow culture to kind of convince us that we aren't as valuable. They're more important. They're more beautiful. They're stronger. They're all this. And you know what? Reality is we're pretty much kind of all the same. And when we allow culture to define us, we get a low self-esteem because we can't compete with the image that culture says we should be. And that could be in so many things. And when culture says that this is beautiful, we don't have to believe it or follow it. It's not necessarily the truth, and it's not even reality. When culture puts value on things, it doesn't mean it's really valuable. I think this is just amazingly interesting about so many things. Look at art. Somebody spent $59 million for this. Now think about it. Who said this was beautiful? If you found that in an alley, you would kick it to the side. But since culture or somebody says they put their value on, oh no, this is really valuable, this is awesome, and then they'll try to convince us, it's beautiful art. No, it's not. It's not. Now, if you think so, that's fine. But I am not going to pay $59 million for that. I won't even hang that up in my house. I wouldn't. Unless I believe what culture tells me, unless I believe what culture says, and then I try to compete with what culture says, and we come up on the low end all the time when we allow others to define us. When we allow others to define us, it can be so detrimental. I'm not sure we realize how damaging this could be. But some of us, and you've probably thought this before, well, if I was just like them, I'd have more friends. Well, if I just could do that, I would make more money. If I could do that, and we allow, it's so detrimental. It's just, how many times have you thought, wow, if I just had more confidence, I'd go for that job. If I had more confidence, I'd ask that person out on a date. If I had more confidence, I would ask for a raise. But I'm just not worthy of it. I don't deserve it. And the whole time inside, you have incredible amount of talent, of value, of giftedness. Incredible. The problem with low self-esteem is we don't see it in ourselves. Now, it doesn't mean we're probably the greatest at anything. You'll probably never be the best at anything. But it doesn't mean you're not good. It doesn't mean you don't have value. It doesn't mean you're not worthy. That we just let other people compare it to us. And I think far too often, especially in culture today, we look for validation in other people. I mean, if you think about what we do, it's like on a hamster on a wheel. Like, don't you want to just get off of that for a little while? Because this striving for validation from other people is tiring. That we keep looking for other people to validate us. Well, if they think I'm okay, then I'm okay. Then I'm going to try harder. Then, oh, good. And we're hungry. We're just looking for somebody to say, hey, good job, or you're really good at this, or and we're just striving for that. And we're empty on the inside. We don't feel like we're worthy, so we're so hungry for somebody to say, hey, good job. And we're looking for validation. I think that's the whole craze. The craze with people on social media wanting more likes, and just more people to acknowledge them. Just, man, I got to get more hits. I got to get more people on this. I got to get more people to subscribe. I do. Why? Because then my value goes up. Oh, if more people, I'm going to let them validate how good I am or who I am. I don't feel good enough myself to just be, hey, I am confident and good enough myself. No, I need other people to tell me. And just think about how that drives our lives. As a matter of fact, I think it drives some of us down roads that we were never intended to go down. Because when people say, oh, good job, oh, really? Hey, when we have a low self-esteem and somebody says, good job, what does it do to us? I'm going to do it better. Wow, somebody noticed me. Wow, somebody thinks I have value. Wow, and I'm just going to do it better and better. And here we live our lives chasing other people's validation. Wouldn't you love to not be motivated by other people validating us? Wouldn't you love to just get off of that? And allowing others or culture to validate. Hey, if you're successful, this is how you got to be. I want success. Well, they're gonna dictate to me what success looks like, and I'm gonna chase after it, so I can feel. But here's the thing: we never get calm. We never get there. We never finally, because we never really believe it. We have to constantly have people validate us. And here's the danger in this. And some of us have been there. Here's the danger. When we don't get the validation that we think we need, when we need other people to validate us or other people to give us value at all, if we find our worth and our value from others and we don't get it, when we feel like we just can't compete, we don't. Have you been there? It's a sad place to be, isn't it? I've been there, and I've seen a lot of people there. My own self-image is I don't have value, I don't have worth, I can't add, I'm not lovable. Therefore, I'm going to quit trying. I feel I can't compete, so I stop trying. As a kid, and all kids in the neighborhood going out and playing or going out for sports. I'm not good at sports. I'm a little clumsy. So what do? I don't go out and play. I don't join that. And pretty soon we get secluded because we're not going to compete where we can't. where we're just going to lose, where I'm not good enough and I can't do it, and we don't compete, and we go the other way. We just run. I know in my own life I did that in my later teen years and early 20s. I did. I had a huge issue with just valuing myself, a very low self-esteem. I felt like I wasn't smart. I felt like I wasn't good looking. I felt like I couldn't compete. I felt like I couldn't even look people in the eyes. So you know what I did? I quit trying. Some of you have quit trying. And you know what we do? It's almost like an internal suicide. Now, some people actually commit suicide, but I think so many of us have did like an internal suicide where we just quit. Give up on myself. For me, it was, hey, I'm not popular. I can't compete. I don't have any value. I don't even feel loved. If something good happened in my life, I just called it luck because there's no way I could do that. Oh, wow, I really accomplished that. That was luck. I don't have those abilities. If somebody actually was attracted to me, or if I had a girlfriend in high school, I actually felt like I don't deserve that, I would subconsciously sabotage it because I don't deserve love. I just quit trying. For me, and I think for many people, I just quit trying to be decent and compete with other people. When it came to drugs, I wouldn't stop at getting high. If I was really high, I wanted to just do more. I wanted to do it more. Why? A counselor told me one time I just had a self-destruct mechanism inside of me. I just wanted to self-destruct because I didn't value what was here. So I would just get higher than high. And when it came to drinking, hey, I'd be at a party, everybody get drunk. I wanted to do more than get drunk. Once I was drunk, I wanted to completely drink more so I would pass out. I just wanted to. When it came to driving fast or taking risks, I would do more and do more. And I'm telling you, it wasn't good. There was something inside that was a self-destruct because I was wanting to commit suicide with the image. Couldn't compete. And I wonder how oftentimes we've done that. Wonder how many times we could avoid addictions, hurtful behaviors, if we just believed the truth about ourselves and didn't believe the lie that we're not lovable, that we're not talented, that we don't have anything to offer. I believe that is part of the craze today. It seems like the huge movement today for this gender issue that we have going on. And I know in young people today, it's probably more of a just to be cool, but it seems like there's such a rise in this gender identity thing. And I believe, I've seen it happen where young women comparing themselves to others are not pretty enough, not skinny enough, not dainty enough, not cute enough, so they quit trying. Not going to compete. I can't measure up, therefore I'm going to quit trying. I'm just going to be a boy. Same with males. Hey, listen, I'm not talented enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not athletic enough. I don't have any coordination. I'm going to quit trying to compete because I can't. I'm just going to give up. It's easier just to escape. I want to become a girl. And I wonder, I'm sure it's not everybody, but I wonder how much of that is motivated from low self-esteem because we just don't view ourselves as equal. We view ourselves as less. And there is a temptation for us to be angry at people, to be angry at what our parents said or what people on the playground said or what people at work have said. And it's easy for us to get angry at them. But we need to learn this. And listen, the sooner you and I can understand this concept, we will be on our road to recovery. And that is this. It is not people that are against us. But there is definitely somebody against us. The Bible explains it this way. And I love how Paul puts this, and it's just so true. But we don't see it right away. He says, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Now, I know that not all of us believe in a devil. I know our culture is just getting away from this whole idea of a devil. But I want you to know this, and we need to understand, Jesus believes in a devil. Jesus talked to him. Jesus dealt with him. God believes in a devil. And the Bible talks about a devil. And we need to be aware of this. It is not people that are against us. It's not people trying to ruin your life. But there is an enemy, the devil, who's trying to destroy our lives, to destroy us in any way that he can. Jesus said it this way. He said, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come that you might have life and have it to the full. Jesus is saying that there is an enemy against your soul, and he wants to ravage you. Jesus told Peter, he said, the devil wants to sift you like wheat. What a word picture. Wants to absolutely destroy you. Not because the devil cares about you. He's not after you, okay? You're not special to him. But you're special to God. As a matter of fact, if you want to get at God, and the devil hates God with a fury, and he wants to get at God, the best way to do that is to get at what God loves the most. If you're a parent, you can understand that. If somebody wanted to get at you, the best way is to get at one of your kids. The devil knows he can hurt God because God loves you more than he loves anything in all of creation. And if Satan can get you to not realize your value, your worth, who you are, if he can destroy your self-image, he wins, because he can destroy your life through destroying your self-image. But there's hope. There's healing. Hey, I'm standing here today telling you that we don't have to stay there. We don't. I've learned so much and experienced so much. Part of it is just this whole cognitive therapy. You know, this learning to tell ourselves the truth. If you and I can just start telling ourselves the truth. Because let's say, from my situation, and yours is probably not much different. I grew up thinking that I was very ugly looking. I did. I couldn't look at people. I thought I was ugly. One of the reasons was, and a lot of our issues come from childhood, but my mom, I grew up hearing my mom tell stories about the nursery when I was born. Oh, there's this cute little baby there. Then there was Kevin. Oh, our son Mike, and then there was Kevin, he was, and I learned, but guess what I discovered later? I was born on a fishing trip 6 weeks early. I wasn't even fully developed. Of course I was ugly. But I started, you know what? We all can look at these things that we took, how we interpreted them, and reinterpret them with the truth. Cognitive therapy. Start telling ourselves the truth. I thought I was ugly because I had curly hair in grade school and high school. Curly hair. Nobody else had curly hair. I mean, tight curly hair, And I honestly, I wish I was lucky enough and had straight hair. I guess I'm just me. It doesn't matter. And start telling yourself the truth. Well, one thing, it didn't stay curly forever. But hey, guess what? Curly hair doesn't define if somebody's good looking or not. And start telling ourselves the truth. I know that I was just totally labeled with stupid, couldn't learn, just dumb. And I grew up with that. My second grade teacher, I've told this story before, but my second grade teacher told my parents, I'm done trying to teach him. He can't learn anything. As a morale booster. Guess what? I started learning the truth. And the truth is this. It wasn't that I was not intelligent or super. You know what? I was just unengaged. I just didn't care in second grade whether to learn that stuff. As I was going through this, again, counseling is good for us sometimes. A counselor gave me an IQ test just to prove to me so I would know the truth. My IQ is above average. I am, an intelligent man. My wife tells me I'm good looking too. My mother, who called me ugly, says now, and I hope my brothers are listening, she says now, Kevin, you're the handsomest son I have. It only takes $20. And, she'll say, what is it you went through growing up that you felt, oh, she's prettier than me? And now you can tell yourself the truth. Guess what? She wasn't prettier than you. They say, just looking this stuff up, they say that 98% of all the population, we are all average. Only 1% might be unattractive and 1% might be very attractive. The rest of us are all in the same. That's 98% of us. Guess what? We're all the same. We're not like, whoa, you're really ugly and you're... No, we're not. Start telling ourselves the truth. And these things that we learned that maybe you grew up with, well, man, why don't you just be more like your sister, more like your sister? Now start telling yourself the truth. Guess what? Because I'm not my sister, it's okay. Guess what? I don't have to be like my sister. And start telling ourselves the truth, and we can grow up and learn this. And guess what? I am lovable because I am special. I'm not what I thought I was. I thought I was this. I thought I was that. And every once in a while, when I run into people, I can see in so many people that I have conversations with, I can see that, man, you have so much to offer, but you don't know it. And I get frustrated. I get angry sometimes. Why don't you know it? Because somebody robbed it from you. You believed a lie. You believed what you told yourself, and it's not even true. You have abilities. You're not the best at anything, but you don't need to be. But you're very capable. We are all very capable. We are all pretty much average. We're all the same. But here's where the real healing comes in. And I'm telling you, for you and I to actually overcome this low self-esteem and get accurate self-esteem. And that is when you and I allow God to define us. It is a choice and it is a decision that we have to make. Am I going to believe what my parents, my siblings, my teachers, am I going to believe what they said? Or am I going to believe what God says? Am I going to allow God to define who I am? And this will bring healing. This will bring deliverance. This at least will start us on the road to having accurate self-image of who we really are. Because I will tell you this, we are all very special. Very special. Listen to how one person describes how God created each one of us. He says this, you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. I don't know where you are in faith, but this is truth. This is from God saying, hey, listen, I'm the creator of all things. I'm the creator of life. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not lesser. I created you. I didn't just create mankind. No. I knit you together. As a matter of fact, you are so special. You are my design. You are. This is truth. This is just over positive thinking that you're the best. You're not the best. You are exactly how God wanted you to be, which is very special as everybody else. That you are special. You're so special. God only made one of you. That one that he wanted and he cherished and has so much value. He goes on, he says, thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. We are amazingly made. We are special, made by God special. And here's what I love about this, and this is incredible healing. There is none of us that are less or more than anybody else. Every one of us were handmade and created by God in a very, very unique and special way. Christianity, church, all religion, they talk about sin so much. And, we always hear about the top sins, don't lie, cheat, and steal and all that stuff. But we don't talk about the real deep ones very often. Because in my opinion, you don't get a bigger sin than thinking you are better than somebody else. If you live with arrogance and you look down at other people, I want you to know that is a horrible, horrible thing in the eyes of God. Can you imagine saying to God, "Thank you for making me more special than everybody else"? If God were to, I think he would slap you. How could you think you were better than somebody else that God made? But low self-esteem, in the same way. This isn't to put guilt on us, but this is just see reality. How sinful is it to look at God and say, "You made a mistake. You should have made me this way. You should have done that." Wow. That's sinful. You and I need to see the truth. The truth is this: God made every one of us equally special, equally valuable. There is not one of us more valuable. There is not one of us less valuable than anybody else. God made you because he wanted you to be you, and you are awesome. Sure, we may not all look the same. We may not all have the same hair, have the same abilities, but that has nothing to do with our value. That has nothing to do with how special, precious, valuable, lovable we are. The more people I meet in my life, the more I discover everybody is awesome. Really. Once we get past our selfishness and our hang-ups and all the things we have, we get down to the core of who we are. I've never met a person that isn't special. Really special. God made all of us special, all of us equal. None of us are lesser. And we are all actually the very children of God. And I love how as we put our trust in Jesus and the Holy Spirit fills us, he can convince us and he shows us the truth. That the Spirit you receive, Paul talking about Christians who accepted him and been filled with the Spirit, he says, but the Spirit you receive does not make you slaves. God did not create you to be his servant and his, you go do this and I built you to just do everything for me. He didn't. God didn't create us to be, he didn't give us a spirit to be that. He gave us his Spirit so that so we don't live in fear, but rather the Spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship, to being his daughter, to being his children, to being in his family. That we don't even have to look at God like I'm lesser. No, we look at God as I am your child, just like these other people are your children, and you are my father, you are my daddy. He goes on to say, and by him we cry, Abba, Father. Dad, hey, he loves us. I love you. We are all the same. The Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children, that we are all God's children, that we are all special. Every one of us are special. You, no matter how you feel on the inside, if you feel less, it is because somehow we have believed a lie, either from the enemy, from culture, or we have reinterpreted what people have said or done or we've seen as to being untrue. We can recover, we can accomplish, we can overcome this low self-esteem by just telling ourselves the truth and believing what God says, that you are special to God.